Well, we blew too many games this year, wasted too many points, and we put ourselves in a position that made it difficult. However, on the year, from 2024, we basically doubled wins. We had 6 last year, 11 this year. We had 21 points last year, 41 this year. We scored 60 goals, 41 last year. We conceded 63, 78. So that's progress, but we made progress. That's all I can say. So that part's good, but I could easily count to half a dozen games where we should have walked off more points. So we put ourselves in this position. You know, the officiating in some of the other games tonight, well, a little bit odd. It made a difference in the outcomes. Tonight was kind of like my last game with the U.S. team when we lost to Trinidad, and they blew another game where they allowed a goal that wasn't over the line and made all the difference. And of course, no one has ever said anything about it. But those things happen, you know. But we put ourselves in this position, so we can't, we got to accept it. In all honesty, Niko did a real good job. I was on the side. I was saying Niko's got to take this free kick, and I saw the free kick he hit in the U20 tournament. Give him credit, his first goal of his career, so good for Niko, and hopefully he can be a guy competing to be a full-time player next year. So that's encouraging, and I think I think the guys picked it up tonight. They played a little bit better. We're trying to build the organization into a winning organization. We have a way to go. We've improved facilities here. We have a new training field now. We just completed. We have a dining hall for the team. We have a team meeting room now. So we're making progress. We're trying to catch up with everyone in the league. So we've made progress this year. Is it disappointing not making a playoff? Sure, but in reality, we just weren't good enough or consistent enough throughout the year. Try to improve our team with the reentry, the reentry drafts and free agency, and then obviously we're working, looking at players abroad as well. So we've been doing that, over the recent months. So we'll add to the roster. The salary cap is always challenging, so we got to deal with that. I'm going to call into Miami and figure out how they do it. Well, they did improve, but it's not good enough. When the beginning of the year is sloppy with everybody, so you don't know whether that's because teams are not functioning properly. Scoring goals is the hardest thing in the game. And the beginning of the year, teams don't score a lot of goals. It takes some time to get in sync, get the right coordination, get the right rhythm as teams. And then as you get into the second half of the season, teams are, going at full tilt, and that's when we didn't do well defensively in the second half of the season because teams are in sync then. And we scored fewer goals and conceded more. So you do the math. That doesn't add up to a lot of wins. He's a good player. He comes out every day, and he reminds me a little bit of Carlos Heel, even though I'm not. They're certainly not similar players. But Carlos is the best player every day in New England, and it's contagious. Doesn't talk a whole lot, but just he lets his play do the talking. And Christian's like that. And he's had a solid year. He needs to be surrounded maybe with a few better players to help him, but he's been a pleasure to be around. He's very well liked by his teammates in the organization, in the community, and San Jose is lucky to have him.
Paulo.
Congratulations for your goal in minute 77. How would you remember this moment? Question 2. How do you feel to be part of the resiliency of this team, especially in tonight's game? Thank you so much, Niko.
I think, the first part of your question, amazing. I don't think I'll forget it. I don't think you'll forget your first.
Celebration with Cristian Espinosa.
Yeah, amazing. He's been incredible to me, ever since, one of my first days here, and a special moment for sure. And then your second question, I think just the group really showed kind of who we are and who we've been. Obviously, we fell short of what we wanted, but I think you saw tonight, like, guys coming on, making a difference, and the guys who started and who came out, like, they put in the shift tonight to allow us to do our job. So I think it just showed, the group as a whole.